Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a Diamond Rengar versus a Diamond Lee Sin, and anyone who has watched Pro Play in the last 10 years will know rocks Peanut, although maybe not in the current iteration. The original iteration, although we'll have to see how this game goes and we can make the determination. This is super slow. Let me speed that up for you. Rengar, Mundo top lane, Fish. I'm cursed with this champion. I hate it from Legacy Days Season 3, we all do, but on EU West, for some reason, I always have to face this champion, and so we have Azereth. Well, if I was going to make the noise, I should make it for Azereth, shouldn't I? Because we don't want to face those champions either. So that's exactly what we are going to be doing here. We have the Lee Sin going into the Raptors here. We have a ward to protect our blue buff from the Rengar, though I don't really... Like, are you afraid of a Lee Sin? Like, obviously we don't want to go fisting perma in the open space, you know? We're not thinking about those things, but... yeah. Here he goes. Ward will... Oh, that's nice. We like it when that happens. Beautiful little invade here, and that's why it's good to sometimes delay things. Now the Ashe going to hit this, we're going to see this and see nothing. So immediately, if this is you, and your ward didn't do enough coverage, right? Which again, maybe we should just, what are we at, 226? Let's just jump a little bit back in time here. You know, this is placed at... boom, 43 seconds. You understand the pain of being a jungler. I understand the pain of being the jungler. I've been there too. So I created the solution, all-encompassing jungle courses that gave you the relevant information that you could use to climb each tier. And so for Split 2 of Season 13, I'm launching an easy way to have all the courses to address the issues you're having in your current MMR, to make improving as a jungler even faster than it's ever been, and to give more value and information than I've ever done in one simple place. Your new place for jungle growth and jungle diffing. And then give you a whole bunch of other stuff like free jungle cheat sheets, a custom-made video just for the jungle club every single week, open Q&As every single week, patch rundowns, free coaching twice a week for anyone who wants to join the room. I've been the go-to jungle YouTuber since 2017. I've coached thousands of clients. I'm a qualified teacher with 15 years experience. I know how to make a course, and I know how to make junglers convert from low elo to gold to emerald to diamond to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anybody you know, jungle diff every game you play, head to virkayu.gg, click on jungle course memberships and sign up to reach your true potential. Which is why when you're full clearing and playing Karthus and things like this, what do we tell you against the Lee Sins, the Kindreds, the Yarvins? We say, slap this sucker down. 108. It still gives you time to get to red buff, and if you really need the scanner, you know, go forth and, you know, place it at 1 minute and go back to base, you know? Press B button, place that ward as you're about to complete your base, and you're good to go. So we would have spotted him with that vision, just to note. But if you see the Ashe arrow go across here and you see no Lee Sin, you're like, no red, no raptors. You start blinking furiously, you know the guy's most likely going to be here looking for this gank. So the bottom it says, better protect ourselves. They slap the condom in the river, but the problem is he's not actually in the river. He's already on the grump here, which I love. I love. Why do I love? Think deeply. Why do we love this? Gets level 3, that's right, good job. Pat yourself in the back and give yourself a cookie. Maybe a double stuffed Oreo. Double stuffed Oreo. Because we know that Red Raptor's Grump, the Legacy Clear Vault, gives us that level 3 spike. We also know that if we waste our time on blue, we're still going to be level 2, and Rengar's going to be level 3. And that's dumb. And we've seen that on this channel a few times. So the guy does the Grump, Rengar's going to show up here, okay? And Lee Sin says, yo, what's up? Just hit the Q, and because he's already lower HP, we get the ward up into the Flash. Fish is going to rotate level 2 Flash, engage for the auto attack amplification plus ignite, and we'll just go back in onto the Rengar here. Woof, that was a little tight, but you know, like, this is the kind of move that I like to see from a Lee Sin. Now, again, he shouldn't get away with it. And the problem with Lee Sin doing this is you don't have the scanner. That's the reality of this, right? You don't have the scanner, so you're gonna do this play, you have no idea if you've seen or not. And for me, that's a big issue with Lee Sin doing it. However, due to the unfortunate nature of the war timing, we didn't see it. Rengar should have and could have played it differently, maybe just given it up. Whole bunch of possibilities, right? You know, Nara's going to be shoving in the Mundo to a certain degree, even though if it's not the best gank, it's still a gank that can be had if Lee Sin's going to focus on the bottom lane. So, worth noting that that was a great invade. I loved how it was executed. I loved the logic behind it. Fish rotated, Cassia rotated, Rengar tried his best. All around pretty good times, except for that one. And now we're going to go to the top side here, knowing that the Rengar's going to be on the bottom side, because his blue buff is up, he's got nothing else up. So we can outside in roll into the Scuttle Crab, look for this, and fall backwards. And if Rengar does show up, we have the 4-minute 20 Krugs, we have the 4-minute 40 Raptors, all the diamond stuff you should be fully aware of. Now, Here you saw this little, as we were looking here, like it was like we were F-King, right? We see the blue team shimmying up the river and place a ward down that's sexy, and now the Rengar saw this and says, well, now there's no point invading. However, the guy should also know that the Lee Sin is going to go to the top side. He should have this in his mind, because if the Lee Sin does boom, 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 and kills you, and there's no wolves, and now you've taken the blue, and now you've taken this, there's nothing else available. And if the Lee Sin therefore did Red Raptors, that's going to be spawning around your 4-minute 17-ish marker, and this should be available. And as Rengar, you just go ahead here, scan, right? Take your scanner upon your first death. I think that's important. Use your scanner to get into these slots here. Go down here, and the Lee Sin is pinging it because that's technically where he should be, right? We're seeing that as a location the Rengar should be in, because now we get to take this, and honestly, if the angle's good, you can gank this, but you don't have to. You could just go back to base afterwards, honestly, and maybe defend against this. Because the Gnar is going to shove in the Mundo, the Lee Sin could show up. A lot of mind games going on here, but very interesting. Very dynamic early game from both junglers. Well, from the Lee Sin. And now the Lee Sin, the question mark is, does he go topside here to invade these Krugs, or does he go sequence down? He sequences down, okay. I can see that. I mean, the Gnar doesn't really want to follow you. He's got a bit of pressure here, still have HP. The Cassio also wants to abuse lane prowess here, doesn't really want to invade, so let the Rengar do his stuff. And the downside to it, though, right, from the Lee Sin's perspective, is if we look at the ward here, okay, Rengar is still down there. Let's just see. That should die out before he arrives, right? I think the question mark I have for the Lee Sin is you kind of think that Rengar is going to be down here. So if you think the camps are not available, what are we expecting to occur? And that's a little bit of the coin flip here by the Lee Sin. I would maybe prefer to go for the Raptors, you know what I mean? Like, I would prefer to see a bit more, hey, let's go see. Maybe we have a control ward, maybe we can take these Raptors and go do something over the wall before Fish gets 6, right? And that could be kind of nice considering he uses Flash and Ignite on us. Now, on the other hand, we could, as you see, go for this and say, hey, if he took it, he took it, but I'm going to go in the Wolf Camp. But now you're looking at the downside of this. What if he didn't? The Rengar's going to show up back sequencing down, and you know he didn't take the Raptors when you go and take them yourself. So you know the Rengar went back to base. You know the Rengar's going to be going down to the bottom side again, sequencing down. The bottom lane's going to rotate because they're shoved in, they have quicker rotation. So the Lee Sin actually causes a downfall. And if this is going quickly for you, good. You want Master Tier? This is how quick it's going to be. This is a snappy decision making. For me, I don't know if he took this. I think he should have. He could not have gone for this, so I know he's going to take this, and sequence down again, right? And optimize and focus on himself. Therefore, as the Mundo dies as well, why don't I try and cut him off on the Raptors if I'm feeling a little stronger because I have better itemization than the pickaxe? And then I can go ahead and leave a wall behind, gank the Fizz or whatever, and you know, when I do see the Rengar here, it's like, ah, okay, he didn't take my Raptors, now I have them, he's gonna go here, and I can lane gank, counter gank, or gank beforehand, whatever, right? You have choices, as you would have seen on the main channel from that Elise. But basically, coin flipping the Raptors there into a Wolf invade, that was done because we know the Rengar, if he didn't take our stuff, had to reset, and now obviously we'll be sequencing down again. It's the only place he could have gone, so putting yourself in the middle of the Autobahn, in this case, is not a very good idea. So that does compromise his advantage early, so we're pretty neutralized here at 1 kill apiece, or an assist apiece. 1 death. We do our red, then we wait for the Krugs, and then the Raptors will be up. And now both junglers go into their shell, and they're like, ganking this? No, imagine, because I'm 5 and not 6. Ganking this? No, I can't because it's a Fizz. And the Fizz is like, well, I'll just walk through Vision because they're still Diamond. And if they respect it, they go back to base, and we own that pressure. There we go, nicely done. Hold that, please. No Bombies Rush, good job. He's doing this now, we are 6. In the meantime, Xerath has died because Tristana all-in with Thresh is huge. Hold the way for the Fizz, he shows up. This is good, good. And now, down comes the Lee Sin. We cut our camps, right? And we see this bottom lane, super low HP targets. This is when you want to go. Now, we have pressed R. So at this point, we know she's going to try and... I like that. I like that a lot. We basically acknowledge we're going to die to the Cassio, but we go onto the Thresh just so we can get the Tristana. That's a double for us. It's a 2-for-1 for us. We'll take that special, right? Fizz now can shove out mid lane and rotate down here, and Lee Sin is just trailing. So the Rengar takes that gold, right? Because we're at 3.3 now, 300 ahead of the Lee Sin. Lee Sin goes back to hold this. And this is what I call cutting the map. And again, I'm going fast because it's a diamond game. So you can always replay it and slow down a little bit for yourself. But, you know, in this ELO, we expect decisions to start increasing in tempo. And you'll see here, by doing this, we don't get distracted by doing these because of the invade, right, of the Lee Sin. The Lee Sin invaded us in wolves, right? That's when he died. We had to kind of pull out a little bit before we could go to the Grump. So the wolf into the Grump sequencing isn't perfect. So we have a small delay anyway. But even if the wolf respawning right next to the Grump was happening, if you have ult here and you see these low HP targets, right, go back a little bit, you want to cut in so you can get this kill right here, okay? That's what we're looking for. And then obviously if you get the kill and survive, you can fall back to the Dragon and then fall back to the Grump of the Wolves afterwards. Then reset and go for Herald side. That's the idea. But obviously we did die, which is fine. Now we'll head to the bottom side. Lee Sin basically knows, hey, Rengar's going to the bottom side. I might as well go ahead and do that beautiful Herald. Rengar says, you know what, I'm going to do the Dragon because I know you're doing the Herald. Handshaking knowledge is part of the game. And in the meantime, Fizz says, hold on, I'm a good laner. I track junglers. I understand what my Rengar's doing. I understand what the Lee Sin's doing, and rotate it over. Unfortunately, we were focusing on other things at the time, but... yes. I love it when this happens. Go on, finish it off, Fish. You can do it. Great. You know, all while we're doing this, and we're paying attention to this. So, there's the downside of speeding through sometimes. E, jump. Nice. Ult, 16. So we're going to play around our ult, right? Shyvana's, Fiddle's, Rengar's, power ults like this, you want to try and make sure you're playing around those as much as possible. Sure, you can react to make good plays, but Miasma is not an ability I feel like running at an Cassio with. Like, who runs at a Cassio with Miasma? Oh no, it's just teleport 2 now. Even when you ult, the champion's just horrible. Like, no one enjoys Cassio at all. She's designed to piss everyone off. Much like Lux, much like Nico, much like Xerath. Those are the mages that other mages also hate. Like, we don't like them. They're in their own group of annoying, right? Just the range and the CC. Tower diving and Ashe with ult up with the Xerath to his E and W. What are you hoping to accomplish here? Ults up, move to the bottom lane. We'll snack that up. Beautifully done. Easy. Lee Sin, in the meantime, has just lost all control here. And you'll notice in Diamond, this happens a lot. A guy will make a really good play, okay, not have the killer instinct about the play. And the guy who, you know, had the unfortunate event kind of just goes a little bit safe. You know, yeah, he could do these things, but it's like, you know what, let's just relax, I'll take my own stuff, I'm cool. And this guy has no idea what to do with that information. Like, he doesn't, he knows the 100% pressure continuation or the relaxed version. Like, he doesn't know how to kind of cut in between, you know? Okay, well, if he didn't take all of this, maybe the Raptors are up. He cuts the middle, takes the Raptors, has a good ganking angle, and from there you snowball. Instead he goes, well, I'll just coin flip it, oh well, then I'll go hyper-aggressive. It's like, you can just be a little bit aggressive. You don't have to be hyper-aggressive. Like, it's a meaningless play that you're going for. And this is what lost him the game. So Rengar takes Krugs as well. Lee Sin now goes to the mid lane. I think he's a little bit tilted as well. And who can blame him? Thresh hits the hook. I don't know if we needed the full-on ultimate for the Xerath, who had no flash. But, you know, if you understand me, it's important to kill the Xerath. He's irritating and annoying, so you kill him. Now, Fizz does have the Herald. Rengar's just doing the Raptors here. Lee Sin's helping the Cassio shove out. She's got 1672, so she'll have a Leandri's completion ready to go. So he just helps her there, which is kind of nice. But Rengar, no, there's no reason for this. They're backing off. Clearly they're backing off. Just go to your Krugs. Don't waste your time, my friend. Obviously the sequencing's a little off here from the Rengar, but I like that. Because you kind of just want to see what the Lee Sin, you know what he's doing, but just in case, can I be proximal to the potential event in mid lane? And what happens is, Fizz uses it. Lee Sin shows up, tries to go in on the Fizz. We take this, we're relaxed, right? The Lee Sin is compromising himself a little bit too much at the moment. Ult is now available, so we can use it on the Gnar. You gotta pay attention to the Rage Bar, which unfortunately is perma-stacked huge, so he's just gonna jump and then do that. But we do hit the Bola, which is beautiful, and then we get ulted back, but Mundo actually decides to go in and play off of us. My goodness, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like when your laners play off of you. Well, it's nice, isn't it? But it's also because you're starting to get to the MMR where people will react appropriately. You know, they'll show signs of life. Lee Sin saw us do this, so he's just going to go for this one here. The Rengar does have flash, and Cassio is prior mid lane, so he's probably just going to look to fight over this, use his flash, and then reposition nearer the Fizz. He sees his Xerath showing. He's going to use the Bola. Beautifully done. The Lee Sin, tunnel vision again. Cassio shows up here, gets ulted by the Fizz, who ends up trickster flashing and getting out with chugging his HP pot. Gnar's TP back in here. Mundo's TPing to the top lane. He really doesn't care, does he? We do die from this. He really doesn't give a shit. He's like, you know, I could TP and help you. I could try. Or I could, you know, take some plates and shove this wave out, like, you know, top lane impact. So there you go. Definitely a really weird game, isn't it? A lot of fighting and fisting, but you're seeing the mechanical difference between games like this in Diamond, games like this in Emerald, Platinum, Gold, Silver. We've talked about mechanics quite a lot. You're seeing people like the Fizzier live when they should die. And in Silver, they would, right? 100%. They wouldn't even be making these plays. And that's the nice, well, there you go. That's the nice change of pace that you get. And obviously that only gets better and better and better. And then you watch your challenger mechanics and you're like, well, diamonds look like potatoes. So it's always the growth, right? Not only having better decision making, but also having better mechanics. But yes, I'm on board with this game. We learned a lot this game. It's rare you often get such a great dynamic early game with interesting reads and a little bit of luck as well with the vision and how we play around it and use expectations and aggression versus sort of just like accepting your fate and trying to get 6 as soon as possible. And now because of this, rank goes up 2 levels. But the Lee Sin just going aggressive on this scuttle, like I know you have prior here, but Mundos has prior here, and do you even win 1v1 at this stage? I mean, he was doing okay, like he should do fine, but the Rengar a Duskblade, and the Lee Sin maybe kills him. That's what we like. Hello, tiny man. Cat has arrived, yes. Boom. Nice. Ash Hawkshot, thank you so much. Ult is now down. We do want to be cautious of the Thresh Tristana. We know she was top lane, that's fine. So I think we're okay, but, you know, if in doubt, because maybe you miss a few things, which of course does happen, like you human beings, most of you. So we can just go ahead and do the dragon. Like that's a free objective. Kill conversion ratio. Kills into objectives. Yes, we can counter jungle, maybe we can do some more stuff, but if we have an absolute free dragon, the bot lane taking this turret, and now they want to reset, let's not waste any time, right? It's like when you get to, you know, dating later on. Let's not waste any time. What are we doing here? Same kind of thing. No frills. Well, frills, obviously, but, you don't want to waste your time for months on end with the wrong people. Same thing here. You don't want to waste your time doing Raptors when your bot lane can be doing Dragon, and now you started up late, and they have to stay late, and then the enemy team collapses, and then they die with 2,000 gold in pocket. It's just, who's really benefiting besides the enemy, right? So let's just go ahead and do the dragon. Bot lane can reset. Cool. Ashe can now go mid lane. We can sequence up. We have the second Herald here. We're watching this. We see the Goon Squad. We're like, Goon Squad? But Goon Squad, there's a Herald and a blue buff available. We could just pull this out with Bola, right? My question mark is obviously this. Yeah, see, this is my question mark. We lose vision. They could be coming through the river to us. So the Rengar just says, I'll take a blue. I'll hit this baby here. Ooh, there's Gnar. Oh, well, that's unlucky. Take this turret. We have Q. Well, we have Mundo. I play Mundo. I try to act surprised, but yeah. We do a lot of damage. Now, we do have ult available, so we could look to do some rotation here. I would like to snack this Herald, to be honest with you, because we do have the pressure if you're looking at this in the meantime. So I don't think we really needed to base. I think we could have gone straight to Herald, snacked that baby up, and then ulted out a base, and maybe done something here with a collapse. With Herald in pocket, full back to Gromp. I think that would have been a nice pressure release. And now we're leaving base to go to this, which should already be taken. So again, not the best efficiency from Rengar, and this is like, what, D1, D2? So you're seeing the differential in decision-making compared to Master Plus, if you compare this to the gameplay channel. Lee Sin's now here. We could be ulting and killing. He's trying to take out Gromp because he knows we took the Herald. You know, Fizz knows he's there as well, so we can punish this. You see what I'm saying? Hey, you gotta play around what they're doing. I mean, it is what it is. No Krugs. That's weird. Someone must be here taking the Krugs. Oh well, Cassio's top lane. Krugs, Gnar is top lane. No one else is here. We'll just go ahead and activate that. Oh, there's the Tristan. Yeah, I like this too. I don't know why she would face check this. Like, she sees us here. She sees us activate the Herald. Rengar's really, really strong. Why would you even remotely get into range? Like, just let the turret go, man. Go mid lane. Now, Thresh is here, or was here at least, thinking about it, and now he's like, well, I can't do anything. So it's been a really good example of what happens when mid laners and other laners react and track to jungle action, So for laners here, huge, right? Absolutely huge. For junglers, a huge example of, you know, the Lee Sin, great invade, well played, well timed. Obviously, just keep your scanner so you know if you're seen or not. Rengar plays that ward a little later yourself if you're worried it might occur. Less of an issue for Rengar, obviously, because we kind of want to use the ward here, and I get that. But I'm happy to compromise a little bit of time. Because if you drag the camp properly, you don't lose that much time. I'm happy to compromise a little bit of time just to have that information. And you saw here a good example of why against certain champions it's good. Like, Karthus is not going to do it to you. Fiddle's not going to do it to you. But a Kindred, yeah, they're going to look to do it. So a great example of using that ward there instead of saving it for the Krugs. But I get it. You could ask your bot lane to do it too. Like, you could just say, please ward this at 1 minute. Help a brother out. I'll gank your lane. And then you don't, but they don't know that. So really good there, and obviously good recovery, but the recovery was a little bit lucky that we survived on that wolf invade, but again, the wolf invade shouldn't have happened at all from the Lee Sin's perspective. Like, this was just, as I explained, it just doesn't make any sense. And the Rengar just ran with it from there, and honestly, it's a quite tempered game. Here we go, using his ult really well. I think the biggest thing here is he's using his ult well. By that I mean he's using it often. Too many times, Rengar's, Fiddle's, Shyvana's, even in a coaching session earlier today, they just don't use the ult as much as they could. And that holds you back, right? Because you like get to 15 minutes, and if used a spell 2 or 3 times with minimal impact, like just to escape things, versus this guy, which is just like on cooldown looking to use it. And I think that's huge. In the meantime, obviously, every lane has kind of held their own. Mundo didn't really have to do anything. They're pinging off this Baron here, basically saying, hey, look, maybe they're going to try and steal it. While we reset and have pressure, we have the fist-splitting bot lane, so obviously they're going to try and pull this. In the meantime, we basically say, no, can we contest this? We do have ult in 9 seconds to scout. Cassio's still here, so that should be a dead Cassio, or we can just do the Baron. Xerath with one of his 1 million ejaculation points that he has now. The Fed Fizz, as I said, super big, and a lot of the Fed Fizz is really to do with the Lee Sin. So this game, not the most dynamic in terms of 20 minutes onward, obviously, but I think because they're just going to straight up FF, yeah. So not the most interesting game from here on because it doesn't exist, but the early game was definitely interesting, definitely a lot we can learn, bit of a quicker session today. I always leave a link to the mid-game section, so if you're wondering how would we close from here, that's always linked in the description of these videos. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Good one for us today. Virkayu.gg for your memberships, courses, live coaching classes right after this actually, that you don't want to miss out on, plus the Coaching VOD library with all the Q&As, patch rundowns, and all other cool coaching videos that I do, all in one library for you to access. Hopefully see you there, or otherwise, see you in the next video.